that's unfair. There's no justice in that. None whatsoever. There's no justice in that. I Had I not gone to the news media, this would not have occurred right now. And homeowners need to know that there is a law in Georgia. It's a Title 44 1130, the Intruders Warrant, that you can use. It's an affidavit you file with the courts, and after 3 days, the sheriff department can put out the intruder.
What's up, landlords? I got a crazy story for you. It's coming out of Georgia. On one hand, we have a felon who gets scammed into being a squatter. He signs a bogus rental agreement with an unknown agency, pays $19K and moves in. That's roughly like $1,500 a month if he's going to be there for a year. And on the other side, we got an active duty military light colonel. I guess the colonel was a landlord, but was going through the process of remodeling it and maybe going to sell it. I believe that was like a $35,000 project, and the colonel was out of the state, comes back, finds this big mess, and fights back by going to the news agencies. All right, I got a mesh of like different videos I'm going to compile. We'll watch it, and at the end, we'll talk it through. All right, let's get into it.
A bizarre situation in DeKalb County, Georgia. A U.S. Army officer is now back in her home after a squatter moved in while she was serving active duty. And the process to get him out was anything but easy. This is how it all started. Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia Duray is with the U.S. Army Reserve. She was stationed in Chicago. That's her house in Atlanta. She claims that while she was on duty, this man, Vincent Simon, who has a lengthy criminal history, including convictions for drugs and guns and theft, moved into her home, started squatting there. This is a beautiful home, $500,000. Duray says that she had never met him. And then fast forward, she couldn't get him out of her own home. Dahlia is with us this morning with an update on the situation. Joining us, I believe, are you from outside your house in Atlanta right now, Dahlia?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh. You know, when I was reading your story the last couple of days, I was frustrated for you. And everybody I talked to felt the same way. What's the update now? Do you have access to your home?
Yes. With the help of the sheriff department and the marshals, I used the intruder warrant to get this person out of my home. They came this morning and did a knock. He left peacefully. However, he is now in jail, got arrested.
Okay, so take me back to the beginning of this. You move out of your home to go serve active duty. How did he get in the first place?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Last Tuesday when I came here and spoke to him, he told me that the keys were mailed to him along with the lease by this person named Duffy. And I asked him, who is Duffy? He did not explain it. He also stated that he went through Georgia MLS and paid $19,000 to Ashley Lane. However, the number on the lease does not exist. The address for Georgia MLS doesn't exist. So I'm unsure how he got it. I really don't know.
And what was that moment when you realized he's in your house, you can't get him out, you essentially can't get in? I mean, what was that initial interaction when you realized, man, my hands are tied, I have few options?
At first, I was really angry and frustrated because when the DeKalb County Police came here, they said it was a civil matter, and I had to go to court to evict him. Now, I'm the homeowner. I have my lien, my deed, the title to my home, the mortgage, right? My name does not appear on this fictitious lease. And I can't tell you to leave. I can't make you leave. I have to go to the courts to get him to leave. I think that's unfair. There's no justice in that. None whatsoever. There's no justice in that. However, had I not gone to the news media, this would not have occurred right now. And homeowners need to know that there is a law in Georgia. It's a Title 44 1130, the Intruders Warrant, that you can use. It's an affidavit you file with the courts, and after 3 days, the sheriff department can put out the intruder.
How long was he in your house, Dahlia?
He moved in May 1st, and it was May 1st that I discovered he was here.
Okay.
The house was under contract, and my real estate agent, Mr. Knox, tried to get the covenant from the homeowners association. And in doing so, they sent her a picture of the beware of dog signs in the front of the yard, as well as some sheets and some shower curtains in the living room area, because I had taken out all the blinds out of the house.
So it's my understanding you were getting ready to sell the house. Have you been back inside it now to see kind of how things look? What's going on in there?
I have. It's disturbing. It's disgusting.
Oh.
They were eating inside the master bedroom. They have food all over. They have mattresses on the floor. And also they had controlled substances in my house.
Okay, and you say they, so in addition to the man who was squatting there and arrested, there were other people in there too?
There was another gentleman that I had never seen him before. When I came here last Tuesday, he was not here. I had heard that there was a pregnant woman here on May 1st, but I had never seen her. She wasn't here. It was Vincent Simon and another gentleman. I do not know his name.
Well, I'm glad you've got your house back. Real quick, how much has this cost you? I mean, in addition to the stress and the frustration, it's costly. You're trying to sell your home. Now you have to clean it up.
Yes, I'm looking at about $3,000 at the onset. And I also have to do some painting and a lot of cleaning because the house reeks of marijuana.
She's an active duty lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve, but when she was deployed, she says a squatter moved into her house and filled the place with his stuff. She wasn't about to go down without a fight.
Sheriff's deputies are preparing for what could be a potentially dangerous operation. They're about to raid this woman's house and remove a man she says is a squatter.
The person that's in my house is a career criminal. He has a long rap sheet.
Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia Dare was on active duty with the Army when she learned from neighbors that a stranger had moved into her house outside Atlanta in early May.
They're going in to remove him.
She recognizes the potential danger.
We don't know what we'll find when they go in.
She watches from the street. Then deputies enter. Out comes the alleged squatter, identified as Vincent Simon. She confronted him.
Vincent, why didn't you leave when I told you to leave?
He was put in cuffs after authorities say they found a firearm and drugs in the house.
Vincent, is there anything you want to say?
The angry homeowner had this message for him as he was placed under arrest.
Vincent, your time is up. Go to jail where you belong. I feel vindicated because he thought I was playing with him.
Now she is about to find out the condition of her house.
Terrible smell. Gotta get a cleaning crew in here. Nails.
It appears the alleged squatter nailed sheets to the molding.
I just painted that.
The living room is a mess.
The walls are damaged. I've got to get the carpet cleaned again.
This was her master bedroom.
What the hell is this? He had no intention of leaving. Marijuana.
She enters the bathroom.
Yuck.
It's hard to believe how much junk was inside, but at least the lieutenant colonel has her house back.
They know how long it takes to get people out of your house, and he was banking on that, but he messed with the wrong one.
Making things worse, Lieutenant Colonel Dare had an offer on the house, but when the prospective buyer heard what happened, they got cold feet and backed out.
We begin now with an update to a Channel 2 Action News investigation. A local Army officer is back in her DeKalb County home tonight, a week after we told you about how a squatter had moved in and was living in her place. Well, the woman's crediting Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray for getting her back in her home. And Justin with us, and that squatter is now behind bars.
Well, Justin, normally homeowners are told they have to go through the eviction process, which can take months. That's what Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia Dare was initially told by DeKalb police earlier this month. But after our Channel 2 Action News story aired, the DeKalb Sheriff's Office contacted her and said they will circumvent that process with something called an intruder affidavit.
If it wasn't for Channel 2, Justin Gray, I wouldn't be here today, and I'm truly grateful.
Look at all the stuff pulled out of this DeKalb County house. The alleged squatter, Vincent Simon, had only been in the home a matter of weeks, but you can see he had really moved in. Even his dogs had to be carted out. Our Channel 2 Action News photographer was there, camera rolling, as Simon was moved out of Lieutenant Colonel Dahlia DeRay's Ellenwood home by order of an intruder affidavit.
Just as I finished renovating, you leisurely moved in like it's yours. No. I was not going to let this go.
It was 1 week ago that Lieutenant Colonel DeRay first reached out to Channel 2. She put her home up for sale while away on Army active duty in Chicago when this convicted criminal moved in, putting up beware of dogs signs and cardboard in the windows, claiming he had a lease. DeRay was told by police she would have to take him to court and go through a formal eviction process.
I felt violated. Had I not been serving my country, I would have been in my home.
But this week, DeRay got to see Simon led out of the house in cuffs.
Vincent, your time is up.
It feels good when you can return the home back to their homeowner.
Police found a gun and suspected ecstasy in the home. You can see the giant gun safe Simon had brought in. As a convicted felon, he legally cannot have a firearm.
He attempted to show us the lease. That's not what the law allows.
Normally showing a bogus lease or even just claiming to have a lease is enough to get a squatter case kicked to a months-long court battle.
You want to have protections of tenants, but you don't want protection of squatters.
DeKalb County Attorney John Ernst has been fighting a similar squatter case for a client since February and says these cases regularly drag on for months with delays both in the courts and with the marshals. His client still isn't back in his home.
It's been 3 months since they were moved in. And we'll probably have at least another month and a half.
But with the sheriff's office bypassing that eviction process, DeRay now has her house back.
I came here with a mission in mind to get him out of my house and put him in jail where he belongs.
And mission accomplished for Lieutenant Colonel DeRay. The attorney we talked to, John Ernst, he's also the mayor of Brookhaven and says he has been looking at this on the public policy side as well on how to make the process more efficient. Obviously, the DeKalb sheriff stepping in here with that intruder affidavit sped up all of this for Lieutenant DeRay by definitely weeks and likely months, Justin.
Man, that story was nuts, right? If someone gets into your property without having a signed lease by you as the actual owner, in the state of Georgia, you can use this Title 44 1130 Intruders warrant rather than going through the slower eviction process. I guess you file it with the local sheriff, and you got to prove you're the owner, of course. And then the squatters will have the option to prove that they have a signed lease by the owner. And if they can't, they're going to get thrown out. So that's a win for Georgia. I wonder if there's other states that do that. So tips for combating these squatter situations. All right. So number one, see if you can get someone to stay in the property so you can avoid the whole situation of it being vacant altogether. If you can't do that, some other things to consider, definitely get the vacant property insurance, check on the property on a regular basis, daily, ideally. Maybe, use a guard dog. Motion lights definitely should have that, cameras, and then an actively monitored alarm. So that means you're paying monthly for the service where if the alarm is tripped, they're going to automatically send the authorities out to check on the property because you want to make sure you catch somebody if they're trying to break in immediately. And then, if you know the property is going to be vacant for a prolonged period of time, I would maybe suggest looking into the authorization to act. I saw it online called different things like a letter of agency or a trespass arrest authorization. Just look it up wherever you're at, with your local law enforcement agency, and then it pretty much gives them permission to arrest right on the spot. I think you do need to post no trespassing signs and stuff like that. And if you're going to have contractors working on the property, you need to give them some kind of like permission so they don't get wrapped up when they're trying to do work for you. And remember, if you end up getting squatted, you can fight back like this story. The lady went to the local news agencies and got the story out to the public. So, I don't know. This is all just food for thought, entertaining lessons we're learning here. All right, so that's it for me. If you want, you can check me out online at foreverlandlord.com. That's it. See you guys. Bye.